Good morning.
Morning.
Dakota College of Botano.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm going to grab this real quick.
Okay.
You've got all
Good.
this stuff good to go?
I do, yeah.
Good morning,
It's
Linda.
nice and warm this morning.
It is.
We're
It's
ready.
very. It's.
Ready to think spring.
Oh yeah.
aren't
Oh
we?
definitely. We are. We are there. We have been patient. We have been good. So here we are. And speaking of spring, spring brings farming stuff.
Yes.
We're getting ready to get out into the fields.
Yeah.
And so tell us about your farm management education.
Yeah, so our program really works with, anyone throughout the farming spectrum. Our goal is to help farmers leverage their financial data. So, the interesting thing in farming is, you have to be an expert in your crops, in your livestock, and the biological process. And since you're running lots of heavy equipment, machinery, it's also kind of like, oh, by the way, it's good if you can fix stuff too. And
Sure.
by the way, if you're going to hire people, you should probably know something about human resources. And we're going to ask you to file your taxes and do all this business planning. But yet, most people don't go to school for all of those things.
Right.
And then get into farming. They usually, if they go do their 2-year degree, 4-year degree, they pick one thing. Like I've got a lot of farmers who have their agronomy degree.
Okay.
That I work with. And so we're really trying to help give them a little bit of educational background on the finance side of things.
Okay.
So how can you manage your data? So, it's coming in and you've got the stack of receipts about how much did I spend on fertilizer, seed, all of that. We're going to be there to help you try to manage that better so you understand what's your bottom line.
I wonder if how many kids way back in the day when they said, when the teacher asked them, what are you going to do with your life? And what are you going to be when you grow up? They said, I'm going to take over the family farm. And I wonder how many of them thought it was just as easy as getting up at 5 a.m, having some coffee, hopping on the tractor and just doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's not like that.
Yeah, we ask them to be, a jack of all trades.
Yeah, and a master hopefully of some. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And so I think what some people find is they really enjoy maybe the agronomy side. And they just really don't want to deal with the books. Well, that's where we're here to help.
Right. Now, who should do this?
We really, try to target brand new farmers. So people who are just maybe taking over from dad or coming and getting into farming just completely without any sort of family background.
Yeah.
But really anyone's a good candidate because what we find kind of is that people enroll in the program and there's different reasons why they might enroll. Maybe they're looking at transitioning
Sure.
from family to family, and so they just need a little help with that. But they tend to stay in because they just really enjoy having like this second opinion, second set of eyes on their record books to help them understand what's going on.
Okay, and to actually maybe to make it a little easier for everybody involved.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So what are we looking at for, with the new season comes maybe some new challenges? What are some of the new challenges we might be facing?
I think the big one, like all spring, we tend to work with our farmers and get their record books ready so they can see what happened last year. And so some of the big things that I've heard from my farmers in what they're worried about in 2023 are interest rates. That's been a big one.
Sure.
They've been on the rise. So the Federal Reserve has just I think I heard the last 9 times they've met, they've increased the interest rate a little bit. I'm not sure if it's exactly 9.
Okay.
But, the Federal Reserve meets every 6 to 8 weeks, and they try to set a target for some lending rates, and that kind of permeates through the economy. So they have raised that just a little bit.
So we're looking at getting close to double digits.
Yeah, we are.
For that. So
the interest rates really on our consumer loans start going up.
Okay.
And so that's not necessarily a problem if you pay off all your debts on time. So when we think about the short-term loan piece, you may take out an operating loan and then, okay, if you can pay it all off this year, great. Like you're probably not going to be, that bad off. But if we end up with maybe not as good of a year in 2023, like we hope, maybe yields are poor. It's going to be harder to pay those off right away. And so now you've got this operating loan sitting around that's maybe at 8%. and you're paying that now. So you want to be really mindful about planning right now, and making sure you're not taking out more than you need, and trying to be really strategic about when you buy your inputs.
So there really is a method to all the madness.
Yes, there is.
There definitely is. Now, I understand there's going to be some presentations coming up.
Yes, there are. So one thing that happens when we get all this information from farmers, we help them set up their record books. We work with NDSU Extension to take some of that information and just summarize it. So it's de-identified. It would go to NDSU Extension, and we come up with some averages, like what's the average net farm income in the state. And we can even break it down by region. So for our region, we're in Region 2. I should have brought a little picture, not that it would have mattered to anyone on the radio, but
I wonder what he's looking at right now.
Covers Botno. And so we'll kind of present what did we find from 2022? How did things shake out for the 2022 farming season? So it would cover things like average yields, crop acres, things like that. And so we're going to do a little presentation on those things coming up here in Botno. So all of our instructors at Dakota College, we kind of work together, and we have a lot of Region 2. And so we have Lindsay based out of Minot and Morgan based out of Rugby, which I think she's going to be here next week, actually.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So our Botno presentation, we're going to have April 5th at 2:30.
It's a Wednesday.
Yep, it's a Wednesday.
Okay.
Yep, so a week from today, and it's going to be right on campus in the Alumni Center in Thatcher Hall at 2:30. And if you can't make that, you're certainly welcome to go to the presentation in Minot or in Rugby. Minot's is going to be the day after, April 6th, and that's at 10 a.m. at the North Central Research Extension Center. We ask that you RSVP if you're coming to that one, because they're going to have a little lunch afterwards.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then Rugby's is going to be April 12th at 2:30 as well, and that'll be at Ag Country in Rugby.
Okay,
so,
all right.
So yeah, we'll have all of those coming up, and you certainly don't need to be enrolled in the program to come. Just check out what those numbers are, and all of that information that we get and is summarized. We put together for benchmarking, so anyone can go look and see what were average cash rents paid in the region, things like that, so they can have a little more financial acuity about what's happening.
Sure.
Those are all available online too.
Okay.
And so if you go to www.ndfarmmanagement.com, sorry, I'll say that again, ndfarmmanagement.com.
Okay.
We have historical, so you can go, I think, all the way back to 2016 and see.
Okay. And is there a way to get a hold of you if somebody has any more questions?
Yep, absolutely. So you can go to that ndfarmmanagement.com website, and you'll see all our instructors' information. Regardless of your region, we kind of cover statewide.
Okay, cool.
So you'll be able to see that. But also you can find me on the Dakota College website, or just reach me at my office number, which is 228-5442.
Okay, well, these sound very like some very interesting presentations, especially people who are interested and who are getting into this, and who have been in it a long time.
Yes.
You have a number of chances to check this out. So
yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
We'd love to see you there.
All right, Linda, thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we'll get you back. And Morgan's here next week. Is that the plan?
Yes. So hopefully she'll be able to give like a